Hey, this is Cody Scott, lead singer of Sydewynder, and you're listening to Music City Metal.
Hey, this is Tim Hutchins, lead guitarist for Sydewynder.
Hey, this is Cole Ellis, drummer from Sydewynder.
And you're listening to Music City Metal.
Music City Metal.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Calvin Park, bass player. You're listening to Music City Metal.
Music City Metal.
You are about to enter the Electric Fishbowl with DJ Fish. We are metal. We are family.
Stay tuned next week. We are going to air our post-Fish Fest episode. But right now, let's go back 7 days to the booth Nashville in the band Sydewynder. Hey, Fish, outside of the Electric Fishbowl, this is really cool. First time doing it mobile at the booth, and I'm with some new friends here, Sydewynder. What's up, gentlemen?
How you doing, man?
Yeah, man.
Hey,
how are
man.
you? So before we get going, let's tell the world your names. I know your names. I actually finally got them all memorized.
Takes me a while,
Okay,
too.
does it? We'll start with you, Cole. And we'll go right around, introduce yourself, say who you are in the band, and then we'll dig right into doing some yapping here.
Cool. I'm Cole Ellis. I'm the drummer.
Hey, I'm Calvin Park, and I play bass.
I'm Tim Hutchins, and I play lead guitar.
I'm Cody Scott, and I'm the vocalist.
We're you all. The date of this recording is September 1st, 2019. I know this is airing a little bit after, but you guys are prepped for a show tonight.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Crying Wolf.
Crying Wolf.
If I just didn't hear 40 bands in a row, I'd probably be there tonight.
I don't blame you. That sounds like
We were
it's a
just
grind.
at Possum Stock, and it was great. But they had a DJ till 6:30 in the morning. I was getting angry.
Boy, I'd love to be that.
I guess. Oh yeah. Well,
that was pretty much.
what type of music? It was just everything.
It was everything. I mean, one band, it would be blues band, then they would have like a rockabilly that'd be really good, then get into some chill alt rock, couple punk bands on Friday, but 40 bands, they, couple of heavy, really not a lot of metal, but really good rock though.
Yeah.
And
That's
some
awesome.
crossover, I don't know, we call it granola music now, I guess. Where, it's just kind of.
I've heard that.
That's a good way to look at it, though.
Yeah.
pretty accurate.
Mary and I have that.
Music, that's awesome.
But it was really good. There was great parts about it, and it was, the facility, a little rough terrain there, a lot of trip hazards, and they made you sign a waiver if you were camping there. But really nice flow to it and vibe, good tunes. It's definitely where we want to take Fish Fest.
That's awesome.
In that direction. That's kind of why we were out there too.
We'll get there if we get the scene keep coming together.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a good crowd up there. A few hundred people, especially Friday night.
That's the first Fish Fest, right?
That was the first Fish Fest. Yeah,
Yeah, for
that was
sure.
good, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
It was fun.
Yeah.
I had a good time.
Oh, well, I really appreciate it, and I'll tell you, a lot of it had to do with the gentleman that owned the booth here. It wouldn't have gotten that way without their help. I mean, but still, we ended up being a really good team, and you guys all promoted the hell out of this. Watching and it was nice. It was just great.
Yeah.
It's been like a rush all week long. Just like reflecting on it, like how we pulled this off in just a few months,
Yeah.
and relatively.
Yeah. I remember because I sat down with the podcast with you. Like I don't know, it was about a couple months ago, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking about
It was
this.
about 6 weeks before, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was, like it was like May or June or something. But yeah, I don't know. We were talking about this and like getting and playing the show and playing the festival and seeing how it turned into reality and everything was going so smoothly. I was just, it was nice to see for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's how we want to keep it, and we wanted to have a nice vibe and chilled out atmosphere. Let the ones who want to get right up front and rock out. Have a little bit of people playing cornhole. You can still hear the music,
Right,
and people chilling in the picnic tables. And,
And the food
Yeah.
was good.
oh yeah, fantastic
Awesome.
food, right?
I ate way too much than I should have. Oh yeah, I was just all.
Mary didn't get a piece of chicken. She missed out.
Oh
But if anyone's wondering for next year, the food was good.
Yes.
yeah.
So it'll be
The
good.
food truck guy was real good too. He did well. Everyone and every vendor said they'd come back.
Okay, that's good.
You know,
That's good.
plus we met some new ones up there.
Oh, okay.
up at another CBD person, and someone selling vintage stuff, and so we went up there for networking. But anyway,
That's awesome.
we're showed out. But let's
Oh yeah, I bet. I don't.
But
blame
you guys aren't. You're up. This is number 3 tonight.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes, third. Yeah.
Yeah?
Third. Yeah.
When's
Gotta keep
number?
grinding. Fourth. So the fourth one
When's the next
scheduled
one?
now. Yeah. No, September 20th. We're playing with Conniption.
Oh, that'll
Area
be.
51
I will
show
be
at the
there.
Cobra.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're playing
Punch
with,
it in, Mary.
Playing with Conniption and then Wine Witch and then Leaf Drinker.
Yeah.
I believe are their
Oh,
names.
wow.
Yeah.
The Cobra's
Everyone be there for the Area 51 show. I'm gonna do some crazy stuff there.
All right.
I don't want to miss this.
I'll be at that one, September 20th, for sure.
I'm really excited to play at the Cobra because that's one that we've had on our radar for a while.
Yeah. I like that place.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not my favorite sound system, but I guess I'm fussy with my ears. The sound was good last week. But Ali did a good job, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were a little short on power. That's one thing we're gonna do differently. A little bit extra. We didn't have enough to run everything
all good.
without flipping between the food truck plugged into my house and the guy with the kiln and
Bet, yeah, it was
and
a lot
then
of
we had the generator down there, but it wasn't enough to power all the monitors. That was one thing bummed me out. But hey, that was the
There's
worst.
always hiccups. It's fun.
Yeah.
You live and you learn. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean,
Well, you
biggest
guys
festivals
were real
in the world,
patient when we're getting up and running, and what a show! What a show! And great photos of it too, Jessica. Your girlfriend, dude.
Sin Fox Photography.
Yes.
Go look up, Facebook,
Go check it out. I mean,
everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
some
Fans
Go to her
great.
for all the pictures and media needs. Yeah. There you go.
It's SYNNFOX.
So to go back and when I had Dustin and Josh from No Name Blues on back in the winter, after we were done with the show, he's like, "Yeah, this guys of mine are putting a metal band together. Once they're working on it right now." And he was speaking of you guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's like, soon as they're working on a couple things, but they're hitting it hard, and I'll have to introduce you to him and all that. So, tell me a little bit how you know Dustin Calvin.
Yeah, I guess-
in the history there, and then get into how you guys got to Nashville.
Yeah. So he and I, we grew up. We grew up in the same hometown. Went to the same school. He's a couple grades ahead of mine, but we always hung out. Then I actually met him through one of our first bands that I was ever in. Right, it was called Drop 4, and then now I believe the remnants of Drop 4 turned into Shiny Penny, or just lineup changes happened, and now it's Shiny Penny. Basically, the singer's the same, but I think there was some lineup changes. But that's kind of what transpired from them, is what I was kind of playing bass for them. But a lot of my interests were a little bit heavier, the music-wise. I was like, hey, let's play Iron Maiden, but they weren't really into that. I was like, let's play Run in the Hills, and they were like, no, it's not. So I was like, okay. But so naturally, it didn't, musical interest didn't work out. But we still kept in touch. And then, so as we kept going, Dustin and I, and it's still an ongoing thing, we still do have kind of a side project of ours that we're entertaining during our free time, which is kind of a combination of metal and a lot of his influences, as well, when it comes to, I guess, a little bit more of his style, a little bit more bluesy and hip-hop centered compared to my more traditional metal type thing. But we just became, him being a bass player too, and he always say that, I'm better than him, but no, he's better than me. It's always kind of that type of dynamic that we have. So it was really, I always look at him as the benchmark for me as a bass player, because every time I come up with something, or if I learn new technique or new riff, he always comes up with something else, and it always makes me mad because it's better than mine. So it's always friendly competition, and so we've always kind of been friends that way. And as musicians, just understanding that both of us as well respecting musicians as well, and just friends. And then he moved to Nashville, and he was basically trying to convince all of his friends to move down to Nashville with him, just to kind of, and I'm glad that he did, because he wanted to form let's just take over Nashville, everybody from Kokomo, Indiana, Richardville, Indiana, let's just go over here and take over Nashville, So he convinced me to move down here, and like, you know, everybody else that moves down to Nashville, you know, pursue their, you know, dream of music. And doing so, you know, he when he came down here, he already had these connections, you know, meeting you and everybody and like that. And he was fortunate. I was fortunate enough to.
He's already he was busy too.
Yeah, he was busy.
Too.
Like I think when I moved down, he was already down for like a year, so he's been busy.
Yeah.
And then so he was fortunate enough to introduce me to you, and that's how kind of the ball got started
that's great.
on that. So
That's
yeah,
what it's all about.
yeah. And then we ended up playing our first show. We ended up playing with them. They were on the same ticket as we were. So then Dustin and Josh got to meet the rest of Sydewynder as well.
And that's how we found out.
Yeah.
The first time we saw you there at the coffee shop there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What about you, Cody? Let's say how'd you make it here? I mean, where are you originally from?
I'm from New Hampshire, Concord or Pennacook, New Hampshire. Actually, small little town. Well, I used to be an athlete, and then I went to the Navy and tried to become a police officer. I was a military police officer for 2 years in the Navy, and then some stuff happened personally that changed my mental state of mind. And I picked up a guitar for the first time at 21, and then I started singing bands like Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, any hardcore you could think of, Pantera, stuff like that. Just trying my own voice. And then about last year, no, almost 2 years ago now, I moved here because I got an opportunity to do a documentary in Atlanta for a guy named Tom Pagano, who was trying to put me on for Metallica because he just got off tour with them. And basically he gave me some advice, and he was like, if you want to go play music, man, you need to go to Nashville. And I had just quit my job. I ran away from New Hampshire with like $100 in my pocket in my shitty Volvo with 300,000
Oh, wow.
miles. And then I drove here overnight, or drove to Atlanta overnight, and then drove here, which is about 4 hours. But yeah, and then we tried I got my best friend Tim. He's the guitarist. He'll tell you in a minute. Got him to move down here about, I think it was 9 months later, right?
I think it was about 6.
6? Okay.
Because you were end of
Wow.
January and I got here in August.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I got him
So,
to move
yeah,
down
you
here,
got
and
him to
then
move
our
here.
goal was to create Sydewynder. Like, that's our goal when we left New Hampshire, was to create Sydewynder. It was just an image in our brain, and then willed it to life, you know what I mean?
Wow. So then, how did you guys in Cole? We'll get to yours in a second, but then how did you end up meeting each other?
I believe we
Yeah,
met.
it's funny. It's a funny story.
Is it?
Yeah.
You want to tell it, Cole, and tell us how you got from Wisconsin? I know that's where you said you're from.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm from Mosinee, Wisconsin, a little town right in the middle of the state, and I was playing with a country band up there, local, playing around all over the state, and after I turned 20, we turned 20, and I actually had a railroad job lined up. I was going to move to Kentucky to be a conductor for the railroad. And so before I left, we were going to try to record an album with this country band that I played in. And I had just met a producer, Kelly Shainfeld, in Nashville. And I was like, well, hey, I just met this guy. Let's go record this album down in Nashville, you know? And the day before we left for Nashville to go record this EP, the railroad called and my driving record was bad. So they ended up like rejecting my application. So like, basically, after we recorded everything, I was like, well, screw it. I talked to Kelly about moving down here and everything, and he helped me he introduced me to some people and kind of got me into the scene. And then I was playing a lot of like country and stuff, but I've grown up listening to like Avenged Sevenfold and Disturbed, Trivium and stuff like that. So I wanted to play metal. So I started looking for that scene, and I was actually talking to Dustin for a while, not like disconnected from that, about joining that band. And I think Calvin was part of that too, or something. Like, it was an interesting situation, but I ended up and then I ended up talking to Tim, and I was talking back and forth about joining Tim's band, and somehow it just all ended up like playing out to where I ended up playing with these guys in a storage unit on a Fisher Price drum set.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
And
fantastic.
we just clicked. I don't know, it just worked. These guys are all really cool, and I've been having a great time, and it's going really well.
What did we play? Laid to Rest the first time we met?
Yeah, that was the song I had to learn.
Well,
Laid to Rest.
Yeah, we scare off a lot of drummers because our criteria, especially for the type of music we play and kind of the skill that needs to be set for drummers for our type of music, it is a pretty limited talent pool in that aspect of it. So we were
Cole
fortunate.
doesn't look scared.
We were
He
fortunate to find.
Yeah,
we were
he doesn't
we were
look
find
scared at
Cole.
all. He's got a big smile on his
Well,
face.
and like when we play Lady Rest, when you play songs like that, that really, it's like kind of like a trial by fire for us. Like, okay, can he play though? Can whoever we try out play and hang like with those songs? Because that's the type of songs that we're trying to write. You know, we're like not exactly like that, but like that type of vibe. So like they need to keep up with that type of intensity. So it was good. It was great that Cole was able to.
Well, let's play one.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah, we're gonna start out with State of War. Now you just finally got the EP out just before Fish Fest,
Right.
and who wants to anything you want to say to introduce the song, anything about it, or we just want to tear into it?
Well, I'd like to say Calvin wrote this song pretty much entirely.
Yeah.
Wrong?
Yeah, well, this was a song that, I had in my back pocket, and then it's funny because Dustin always has a way of being involved in every story I tell, I think. But, then I do want to co-credit Dustin for taking, because we were going to it was going to be a song for Gavel, which is the kind of our side project that Dustin and I have that, or it was kind of like inactive right now because we're both busy with our bands, but it was something that we had before I met Tim and Cody. So, and then he took that song and suggested some some of the lyrics changes to it, and that's what ended up being happened. The majority of it, so like the foundation was me. Then when we were like trying to release it for Gavel, he put a little bit of his input as well. And then what ended up happening was this great song that I'm very proud that everybody else likes as well.
All
So
right,
it's
well, let's
kick-ass.
dive into it a little bit. Oh, you got some?
One more thing.
Yeah.
We shot a video for this that should be coming out within the month or so.
Oh, that's some good information. Yeah,
And
stay tuned to
It's gonna
that.
be awesome. Like,
Nice.
You're not gonna be ready for it. It's gonna be awesome.
State of War by Sydewynder. A little bit later, we'll have the NashvilleMarch.com heavy metal forecast with Mary Fish. She'll be joining us later on. Lots more to come from Sydewynder. Here it is, State of War, Fish on Music City Metal. Oh yeah, State of War, Sydewynder, killer first track.
Yeah, like as I mentioned before, that's kind of my baby. Dustin put lyrical input in it as well. Like back when we were in the genesis of the song, you know, I did ask Dustin for well, I had the lyrics, and then I was like, all right, Dustin, like what, you know, as a friend, you know, like what would you like change, right? Because I always like getting other people's perspective on all my material. Like for me personally, I love like give me all the criticism you can give me. You know, like I'll take it. You know, I love it. You know, so just give me all that. Like let me know what changes like you think I should make. So he and I wrestled with the lyrics a little, and then but the foundation of the music was all me and
Wow.
yeah. And then like we just took it. I took it. Then I was like, when I met them, I was like, all right, well this is kind of what I would want. The sound would be like one of the sounds. Like this is how like kind of I envision kind of our sound.
Yeah,
being,
the foundation.
You know?
Well, one thing we're gonna hear as we get into the other music is a really broad range of what you guys are doing with your music and this first album. So we're gonna play Allegiance next, but what I want to do first is, you know, like Cody, each one of you guys tell me who is like the first artist that you experienced that made you want to be a musician.
It's funny actually because all these guys are into super hardcore like Avenged Sevenfold, Trivium, Pantera, all that stuff never happened for me until later in life. So it was definitely like Chris Cornell, Lane Staley, and Eddie Vedder. Those three essentially got me to sing at all. Like even it was just by myself to feel better, and it actually helped my mental state to just sing and just let stuff out that way.
Yeah. And those were the new beginnings right there. It changed everything. With
Changed
music.
my life completely.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I mean, mine too. I was just fresh out of high school, and into I was just getting into Metallica and some of the heavier stuff. But for the longest time, I was hair metal guy.
Right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you hear Alice in Chains, and you're like, I was just listening to Poison. Are you kidding me? Why? Like that's what happened. Like the music had anger and it had angst in it, and it wasn't just about drinking and sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It was about real life.
Relatable.
I call it vent music. It's essentially music that actually has substance to it. It'll make you feel better after you listen to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive back into it. We're gonna keep the tunage coming, man. Let's play Allegiance. Who wants to introduce the tune?
I'll do that. That's one I've been working on for a long time, actually. But I've had that song for the most part for probably about 4 years. And then when I met Cody, like we live in an apartment together now, but we were working on a song and it needed a missing piece. And that middle groove part, I was like, I need something kind of stompy, and I was messing around with the chords. And then he hummed the rhythm to me, and that's how that middle section happened.
No. Nice.
The like main riff came from like when I was a little kid. Like I had a Xbox, and there was the Ozzy Osbourne video for "I Don't Want to Stop" with Zakk Wylde. So that intro, the kind of second intro riff that the bass starts, was me trying to do my Zakk Wylde type riff.
No,
It's
all
definitely
right,
a
well,
Zakk Wylde type riff. And
Zakk
very
Wylde.
like bluesy metal.
That
Very
whole end section breakdown came to me while I was working in a coffee shop in Brooklyn.
Oh, that's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Let's check it out. Allegiance from the self-titled EP from Sydewynder, Fish on Music City Metal. DJ Fish, outside of the Electric Fishbowl, we got the mobile one. We got the mobile bowl today. We're at the booth. You guys haven't seen the venue yet down there, and right now it's full. You wouldn't believe that it was a music venue, but they have some great shows here. They're putting on a killer Halloween show.
Awesome.
I'm kind of pre-announcing on Halloween here Thursday, on actually Halloween night. Definitely they're putting a metal show together too. So that one's up to Ian, but where do you see it down there? But that's where we're at, the booth, Nashville, and I really appreciate you all coming out.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah, and let's one of the things we didn't finish. We'll go jump to you, Tim. What was the musician that wanted to make you a musician? Your first memory, or band, or whatever.
I got my first guitar when I was 10. I had a pastor give me a guitar, and he was like, I feel like I'm supposed to give this to you. So it was this little classical acoustic guitar. I didn't know what I was doing, but I didn't put the thing down. Like a year later, my dad saw that I was really dedicating time to it, and he asked me if I wanted to go to Daddy's Junkie Music Store, which was a place up in New Hampshire.
I bought some equipment there before they
Yeah.
went out. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, so he let me pick out my first guitar. It was a blue Ibanez like RG with pearl shark teeth engravings. And then right after that, I heard the City of Evil record by Avenged Sevenfold, and immediately had
Hooked.
a benchmark of like, this is the most insane bonkers thing I've ever heard. So at that time, all through middle school and stuff, I was homeschooled. So I'd get up every morning, get my stuff done early, and then I would play for like 6 hours a day.
Oh, that's great.
So this band that we've formed is the band I've wanted to be in pretty much since I was 10 years old.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. What about you,
Crazy.
Calvin?
Yeah, for me, as a bass player, the one person, the most influence on me is definitely Steve Harris of Iron Maiden. That dude, yeah, like he is number one for me. And anybody that kind of either like listens to my tone or like my playing style, I try not to exactly copy him, but man, he has so much influence on my tone and my playing and the way I just approach bass playing in general. A lot of respect for him. And then others is definitely Cliff Burton's another one. I feel like those two, any metal bassist, like those two are like the 1 and 2 of metal bassists, Steve Harris and Cliff Burton. And then, I know you were talking about this earlier, but John Mayung from Dream Theater.
Oh, yeah.
And not just because both of us are Korean, but and play bass. But
That was neat. Well, when you guys were playing Fish Fest,
Yeah.
there was a young kid there, and I was standing there, and he's like, "Doesn't he remind you of Young from Dream Theater?" He's like, look at watching him like he was watching you play, and he's like, "That's the same exact style. This is like,
Yeah.
He was like his towel. He had a towel. It was wagging. He was digging it, and right out of the gate, it was the beginning of Fish Fest, and I was happy then.
Yeah.
By you, Cole, who made you want to slam the skins? Sometimes people say it was a sister that they want because their sister drove them nuts. They wanted to get.
Wait,
their...
I thought we were talking about drumming here.
Yeah, we're talking about
we're moving into a different territory here.
Well, taking your aggressions out on drums, not a sibling.
Yeah. Well, honestly, like
with
I've been playing drums since I was like 6 or 7. I've started taking lessons when I was like 9, but like back then I was listening. My dad was always playing like Bruce Springsteen and stuff like that. So that's like music has always been a big thing. My brother played guitar and sang growing up, so like we always jammed together. But like the band, like in high school, the band that kind of took it to the next level for me was Like a Storm, actually. If you've ever heard of them, they're like out of New Zealand or somewhere, but that was one. I've started playing stuff like that, and I was kind of getting to the point where I was able to play stuff like that, and it was kind of. I've always liked like Sevenfold and Disturbed and stuff, but like listening to them, it kind of brought my playing to like realize that I could actually play this stuff, And so like after listening to them for a while, I kind of got into like that's when I started looking at Avenged Sevenfold songs, like, oh, I can actually play this stuff, and then I can like I kind of took it to that next level. So.
Oh, wow. Good story. Well, we're going to do 2 in a row here and come back, and we have the Nashville March.com forecast. All the shows playing in Nashville for the second week of September, as this show is dropping September 9th. So it'll be the week of the 9th. Mary Fish, are you ready for that? I know you're You're supposed to say something. Put cricket noises.
She gets camera shy.
I know.
Yes,
You
I'm
camera
ready.
shy. All right. All
I
right.
was born ready.
All right. Let's do 2 in a row by Sydewynder. The Masses in One Last Glance. Music City Metal. Fish on Music City Metal. This was the first song I heard by y'all there, One Last Glance. Where are you, Mayor? You coming in? Oh,
We got a party going on back there.
there
we go.
Oh, there we go. It was a little loud out there. Yeah, we're having our post Fish Fest meeting here, wrap up, and that's what they're all out there gathering. But first things first, Mary Fish, how are you?
Great. Enjoying this afternoon.
It's time for the NashvilleMarch.com rock and metal forecast for the week of September 8th. What is it, Mary?
September 9th, Monday. The last 10 seconds of life. Kanashi? I don't know. We're gonna go for it. Yeah. Hive, Abyss Walker, and Divisive. They always seem to hang out together.
Yeah.
That's gonna be at the end at 7 p.m. Then on Wednesday, September 11th, Mr. Gray with Reverend Jack. That's at Springwater at 8 p.m. That'll be a good show.
Yeah, you guys would get in Springwater like snap of a finger. Ever played there or been in there?
Working on it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a very homey, that's a very comfortable venue.
Yeah.
Then on Thursday the 12th, I mean, if you want to go commercial and you want to go see Lenny Kravitz, he's still hanging out. That's at Ascend at 7:30. Definitely recommend lawn seats. It's way cheaper.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th,
Oh.
Rain Wolf with the Blue Stones. That's at the Cowan at 7 p.m. Also at 7 p.m. at the end is Counterfeit. So let's see. That's it for the week.
That's it for the
That's
week.
it. Yeah,
Well,
slow
that's a
week.
nice forecast.
Yeah.
And then, back to Sydewynder. We're recording this September 1st for next week, but you all have a show. You load ins in a couple hours.
Yes, sir.
Ready? And I wanted to shout out to Tyler.
Yes.
He said he's busy playing video games. What's he doing?
Tyler Huntzinger is working on his education, sir.
Oh, I know. He said he's doing college work.
He's doing.
That was kind of a tease.
No,
to
I
him.
got you. No, I got you. We tease
Oh,
all
he's
the
probably
time.
still playing video games.
It's my son
Thank
that's
you for
home
having
playing
us
video
on.
games.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
said
he-
thanks for that.
Yeah,
for having
he
us
wants
up
to
here.
shout out.
He
Yeah.
also wrote that last, the Masses.
The masses.
That was the
That was
Oh,
Tyler's
really? That was
baby.
his writing? Wow,
Yep.
great job, Tyler.
Yeah, I remember him showing me the song. It was like, I don't have lyrics for it though. So I was like,
Why?
well, it's funny because like the lyrics just match. Because I was writing just lyrics. Sometimes I just write lyrics and no song, and it just worked perfectly. It was great. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like, and then One Last Glance was them two's creation.
Yeah, that
Tim
was-
and
that was-
Cody's.
Well, the one we're going to play in a minute, I told you, is one of the ones I think is my favorite. And you guys got really exploratory. Purple Sun. Who wants you guys talk about that a little bit? And like, because it's a different, it's completely different than State of War or even what we just heard. And that's what I like about you all. You're exploring these areas that, instrumental. It's definitely a different sound. So
Where did you get that?
where did
riff
that
from?
birth?
The Purple Sun one.
Well, some of my favorite like metal songs are the Metallica's "Fade to Black" is a classic staple. Pantera's got "Cemetery Gates." All those kind of like power ballady but still kind of thrashy songs I really like. And hanging out with this guy for the past few years just turned me on to Soundgarden and things like that. So it's kind of a mix of that Metallica-y kind of chorusy clean thing with the weird experimentalness of Soundgarden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I believe too, it wasn't really on like I remember like because so what we do is like we have a lot of demos that we just kind of go back and forth on, and this was one of them that like I was going through all of Tim's demos that he sends out, and I was just like, well, this one stuck out to me a lot. I'm like, I wanted to push this one, like let's make this one a real one, I don't know if you guys like thought about
I
like
don't
did you
think
guys
we
think
thought
this
it was
gonna
going to be
be
serious at
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
And then it just became that. And then I wrote the lyrics after staying up all night listening to Audio Slave and Soundgarden and acoustic Chris Cornell because I'm obsessed and he's a god, and that's fine. But
And I me personally, I was like, there's something here, and like I was like pushing these guys, like, hey
I do
guys, we need
remember.
to work on this one a lot, and
If
focus
it
on
works
this
like
one.
a Dropbox, we'll like throw songs in there and then we'll listen to them. And I do remember Calvin coming and be like, "Hey, we should push this."
Yeah, this one, I was like, this one kind of piqued my interest. So like,
and there's
work
not a
on
lot
it.
of metal bands that travel that far away from what they normally do. We want to be the band where we gain any fan in the room. You know what I mean? Like people from all walks of life can walk into a room and be like, "What is that? I've
Yeah,
never heard
crossover.
something like
Exactly.
that before."
I
It's
love that.
an amalgam of all of our favorite bands put into a piece of art.
We also really don't care in terms of like, oh, this isn't hard enough or this isn't soft enough or like we're like whatever. Like we write what what we think is great music, and if other people share that sentiment as well, then it's just all one love, So
Yeah, like
it's
the community thing we were talking about.
Yeah.
Cole, if you
Yes.
had, we're gonna go through and ask another fun question.
Oh boy.
Cole has all
yeah.
Cole gets all the fun questions.
If you had any band you could open up for in the next like near future, like what someone to share the stage with that would just tickle you to death, who would it be?
Oh, Sevenfold, hands down.
Sevenfold.
Not even a
Wow.
question. Yeah.
That's cool.
Avenged
That's
is definitely down the road. Hopefully,
Yeah.
what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to
yeah,
for
yeah.
me,
How about you?
it has to be Maiden.
Maiden.
Yeah, Maiden for me.
Man,
Yeah, hands down.
it's too bad you didn't make it to the Hard Rock.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Such a great night.
but
Just,
damn.
it was cool, but just because Steve, you had Nico.
Yeah, and I saw
play.
that you actually met Steve.
Yeah, well, no, I did not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was in a different area, and I didn't. Nobody was really bothering. It was
Fair
really they
enough,
were kind of
yeah.
being. Yeah, I mean, we did get a couple funny pictures, and
Of him though.
yeah,
So you got to see him though. And
oh
play.
yeah, and Nico came up and played.
Oh,
played
okay.
a song,
All right,
and-
that's awesome.
And it's a band that was on one of my first episodes, Oblivion Myth.
Uh-huh.
Two of the guys from that band were in the Iron Tribe, and it was about 8 musicians rotating all night. But when they walked in there and sat down, I mean, they plunked for 2 hours and sat there and watched them play. But anyways,
Yeah.
what about you,
For me, it's definitely
Mr. Tim?
Avenged.
Avenged for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. What about you, Cody? It's amazing to see the influence. It's been a lot of the bands you guys were in mid-20s.
Right.
How much Avenged has been influential.
Avenged is definitely a top one, but for me personally, Corey Taylor is one of my biggest idols right now. The dude is something to look at, like a spectacle. Like he does the correct things in life and in music, and puts out his art like crazy. So like I'm thinking Stone Sour or Slipknot someday.
Yeah, that'd be
Hell
cool.
yeah.
But I love both of those bands.
All right, well, go do your thing tonight. Maybe that'll happen next year.
There we go.
You know what I mean?
Set the
All
bar
right,
high, baby.
I want to hear this tune right here, Purple Sun. We'll be back with Sydewynder in just a minute on Music City Metal.
Falling into oblivion. This cannot
Purple Sun from Sydewynder on Music City Metal. Been a great show here. We're going to chat for a few more minutes and got one more to play, Burnt Out. But before we get to that, why don't we tell, obviously, you have a unique spelling to the name, and give out your all of your social media, and then how to contact the band and anyone.
Oh, I can.
Anyone? Yeah.
So we're on Facebook and Instagram, and that is Sydewynder Band. So Sydewynder is spelled. I gotta think here. It's spelled uniquely.
S-Y-D.
Yeah, look it up, Cody.
I got this. Sidewinder Band.
It's in the dictionary.
Okay, so SYDEWYNDER.
That's it.
So
Yeah.
Sidewinder, but the eyes are Y's.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
there you go. That's the way to say it.
Yeah, pretty
Hutchins
much.
got that figured
Yeah,
out.
so Sydewynder Band. Then you can reach us also. We have an email account on Gmail, so it's sidewinderband.official@gmail.com.
Make sure you hit up NashvilleMarch.com. Get on their calendar. Because
we do that
what's your
too.
show schedule? What do you got coming up besides
20th?
tonight? By the time
Tonight, the 20th, and also, what's the one after that? Is that the October 25th?
October 25th one too.
October 25th.
Yeah.
It's not officially.
That's Friday, right? That's like going to be the big Halloween weekend, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah. All
But,
right.
and then our EP, which you just listened to, it's available on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music too, right? Yeah.
Basically 100 different.
Any platform that you
It's
want.
nice. Yeah,
think
it's
of.
nice that it's nice and
Yeah.
easy now.
Yeah.
Get your stuff out there.
And YouTube as well. So
Yeah.
appreciate if you guys check that out.
Well, it's pretty amazing. I'm very happy to say that you guys played the first Fish Fest because I'm anxious to see what happens.
Yeah.
You guys are brand new. It was your second show, and I'm stoked to be able to say that, and really thankful that you guys played and did so much, put so much into it, and put on a great show.
If you build it,
Yeah.
if you build it, they will come. What is this?
Yeah.
Feel the dreams.
Yes, Field of Dreams.
Well, I feel myself sinking. I don't think I'm going to make it to the Crying Wolf tonight, but I will be out at the Cobra.
Heck
Yes.
Guarantee you
And
that.
Awesome.
Finally plug
Yeah, you
in
got a couple.
to
Yeah.
Conniption as well. It's kind of Conniption show for that September 20th gig.
Yeah.
Conniption Area 51 raid party. That's when I think supposedly the Area 51 raid's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be an interesting day.
Oh, that's
If
right.
that's an actual
That
thing.
was the
It'll
right.
be
No, well, they're
exciting.
making actual events out there.
Yeah,
isn't it?
It's
yeah.
become a thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's a smart idea to run in
It's-
there.
yeah, but you
It's
know,
like,
you get
ET's not going to be sitting inside the garage door there. I guarantee.
Well, they have
You know,
deadly force
that's what I
necessary
mean.
signs everywhere. So if they go past that,
they're just
it's
you're-
your own problem, guy.
Don't.
But if
I
you
think
rather
that's a
not
whole
do
other
that,
subject there. We never got into Star Wars, where we were not
yeah.
supposed to.
Oh
talk.
God.
but I am excited about the Mandalorian series too.
Yeah.
That and the newest Star Wars. So, but
Yeah.
the Mandalorian, I'm especially excited about.
You know what I just found out? Oh, this is way before your time now. This is when I was young. Do you remember the movie The Dark Crystal? Any of you?
I do not.
Oh, no Jim Henson fans here? He's the one who did, he helped design the puppet of Yoda.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he was Sesame Street guy.
Okay.
But it was a fantasy puppet movie. But they just redid the series and released it on Netflix.
Okay.
With the original, called The Dark Crystal.
I saw that when I loaded up my Netflix.
Yeah. So they did a movie in '82. If you're into the fantasy thing, and I'm
Okay.
stoked about
Check that out, yeah.
I was 12 then, so.
Well, yeah. That's
Gentlemen, anything you want to say about the last song here? Burnt Out.
I hate Tim.
Okay. Yeah. The first. I got something. The first day.
Cole said he hates you.
No, I have to say that every time I play this song because it's so blistering fast and it's like it's barely. I'm burnt out after we all are after we play this, but I have to tell Tim that I hate him every time I play
Every
this
single
song.
time, without fail. Dude, when the first time me and Tim actually met up after high school, like we had, what was it, English or poetry together? Whatever. AP English. Yeah, college prep. I'm smart. Okay.
Look at you, smart people.
AP English. I think I got a C in the class, so it's not anything special. But me and Tim met years later after I was in the Navy. He was in college and stuff. Then we met up, and the first thing he played me of his music was a song called Bone Grinder and this song called Burnt Out.
Bone Grinder will come up later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be a later thing. But Burnt Out, that
love
was the
the song
first thing I
names.
ever heard of Tim's, and I didn't even know how to approach it. And then he showed me Burn It Down by Avenged Sevenfold, and I was like, okay, that's a new wave of thinking. I'll do that. So
Oh, that's
where
nice.
Burnt Out came out.
Yeah. Hey, what'd you think of the Vocalese? I want to shout out to our sponsors,
Yes.
Vocalese. There, you got your. What do you think of that stuff? How about
Vocalese
put you on the
saves
spot?
my life pretty much as a screamer and singer in pretty much every single song. It's very hard to keep your vocal folds healthy after shows and whatnot, and alcohol and stuff.
Yeah.
But Vocalese, honestly, I do one or two
Smoke
sprays
going.
of this before a song, and it's like my voice came back from being dead. or
Yeah, that's
something
good
like that.
stuff.
Yeah.
It really is good stuff. VocalEze.com. And thanks for listening to Music City Metal. We're going to wrap it up with Burnt Out by Sydewynder. And thanks again, gentlemen, again for being a part of Fish Fest, getting to know you guys. And I'm really excited to watch you guys grow and get it, make
Awesome.
it.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
sir,
Yeah,
for
man.
having
Thank you
us.
so much.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, all right. Thanks to Mary Fish. And Jessica, you videotaped the whole thing. I hope I look okay. I just came off a camping trip. Yeah,
It's not important.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. I like being behind a camera. But Jessica, yeah, beautiful photography, and thank you so much for great pictures of Fish Fest as well.
If you need band photos,
Much
go to
appreciated.
Sinfox Photography.
Yes.
Do it.
Yeah, they're up on my Instagram. I reshared some of those group photos that you have. So great job there.
She even makes me look good, and that's saying something.
All right, wrapping up from the booth. Make sure you go to the booth Nashville. Stay tuned to great DIY venue right here, and it's a nice vibe downstairs. You know, check it out. That shed out there, right outside, is going to become a bigger place for bands too. So they're taking this serious here. So stay tuned for the booth. Special thanks to NashvilleMarch.com and Vocalese. Here it is, Burnt Out, Music City Metal. Burnt Out, Music City Metal, wrapping it up with Sydewynder. You guys got a show to get to. Hope you do well, man. We'll have you back again. Get some new music. How many songs you guys have written? I mean, you got 6 on the EP here, but how much?
Well, there's a bunch that have to be like sifted through by the whole band, but me by myself, I've got probably about 40 on my list.
Oh wow!
I don't know how many Calvin has.
Awesome.
Enough to comfortable to share. I don't know, because like there's like 2 files. There's like I wrote them, but these are like complete that I'm ready to show the band. You know?
Right.
So, like,
Right.
I have a
So
stack
you got
of 10
plenty to
notebooks.
work
We got
on.
plenty.
You
I have a
got
stack of 10 notebooks full of lyrics, so it's
Wow.
and I'm writing every day, so it's never gonna end. So.
We won't
great.
run out anytime soon.
Yeah.
Well, have a great show tonight, and make sure you tune again to Music City Metal. Thanks so much to Sydewynder. And hey, want to make the world a better place? Commit a random act of kindness to a complete stranger. Peace.
Yeah. Peace.